Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books, and I have been covering Disney pretty closely these last few months specifically. And I'll tell you, Bob Iger has a new problem on his hands. Yes, he's the CEO of Disney, so yes, it's his problem. Disney's got a hotel that's incredibly expensive, and it was popular supposedly when it started, but now it's not so popular, and they're starting to cut back prices. This is the Star Wars franchise-based Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, where you can spend about $5,000 for 2 adults and 1 child to hang out there for 2 days. Is that really worth it? Well, it's not worth it to a lot of people that have decided they're not going to keep going there. And what's funny about this is, remember how the theme parks were supposed to be the great bright spot in Disney's business plan because theme parks were doing great. They were providing all this extra cash. They were able to raise prices. Yeah, but not at the Starcruiser Hotel. And you know, maybe this is also an indication that Disney's got some additional problems in the future with their theme parks if they don't start getting people excited and interested in their brands again. Let's get into this article. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, from Fortune magazine today, Disney's $5,000 per package Star Wars themed hotel is slashing prices as Bob Iger navigates his latest headache. Walt Disney Star Wars themed Orlando hotel, dubbed Galactic Starcruiser, is turning into the latest potential headache for Bob Iger. The Mouse House CEO received a fresh 2-year mandate to return to Disney and work his magic after the board unceremoniously threw out Bob Chapek in late November in response to growing losses at its streaming business. We also know that Bob Chapek was involved with Nelson Peltz, and there was a lot of things going on. Nelson Peltz, of course, is the activist investor that's teamed up with Ike Perlmutter to try to make some changes at Disney and get it back to where it's supposed to be. The veteran CEO promptly got to work unraveling one of the core strategic decisions taken by Chapek and sacked his top lieutenant, Kareem Daniel. Now, getting rid of Kareem Daniel was a good move. This idea of Chapek's, where they would set up a separate distribution company that would then sell their content to their streaming service, and then Chapek spent billions and billions more, an additional like $8 billion more than the business plan called for streaming services in 1 year in 2022. It was absolutely outrageous. And Kareem Daniel, while he must have been a nice guy, really didn't have entertainment experience. It was in way over his head. So that was a good move. Now, Iger faces problems at one of Disney's flagship attractions barely a year after it opened. And usually new attractions do well for quite a while. So it's kind of, you'd think Star Wars, isn't that a big franchise? Struggling to attract visitors to its pricey $5,000 per package Starcruiser hotel, Disney began last week offering rare discounts of up to $700 off the 2-day stay if customers book accommodations at other participating hotels in a promotional deal that lasts all the way through the end of September. While it's not unusual for hotels, even those run by Disney, to offer discounts of anywhere between 10 to 25%, the Star Wars themed faux space travel package, it's faux space travel? Forget it. If I can't go on actual space travel, I'm not going to this hotel, is a deal executives have said would justify its premium price through the immersive experience. Which, this is experimental. So it's a good thing that they try to do like this immersive brand experimental experience. But 2 things about that. One, it shouldn't be absurdly high priced. And I know that travel is expensive and Disney experiences are expensive by definition, but it should be low priced because you're kind of like testing out a new format. Do that. It's a good thing to do. But 2, which is really the main thing, is, hey, you can't actually destroy your Star Wars franchise. You can't actually take the things that people love and they really care about, these brands, and then, have a high-priced product experience based on it. Because the problem is you've lost the interest in the immersion. The more immersive it is, the more things they might pop in there that you're actually not happy that they changed about the franchise. Let me know what you think about that, please, in the comments below. Moreover, the Galactic Starcruiser is a brand new offering from Disney, so it's rare that it would already be subject to its first promotional discount. Originally offered exclusively to Disney Vacation Club members, this 30% special offer has now been expanded to the general public, and another sign that it's not living up to expectations. Which, by the way, that's another good business move. You've got the Vacation Club members, you want to generate some extra revenue, give them a big discount on one of the experiences, why not? That's a great thing. The problem is if it doesn't actually generate enough money. This is the thing with Disney is they produce. Yes, there's tremendous brand awareness for all of their brands and their franchises, but the problem is they haven't been respecting the actual fans, the core group of fans that are the ones that, because they invest themselves in the brands, that these brands become like immortal. They go on forever because people care about them. They put life into them. This is why Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter have to get their way, and hopefully they do. Guests have been clamoring for these changes, wrote Rick Menares, a Florida-based stock analyst focusing on Disney for Motley Fool, on Thursday. But it's also a way to woo potentially disgruntled fans back at a time of weaker demand. Galactic Starcruiser's journey so far. Opening its doors in Orlando last March, the timing of the Galactic Starcruiser's arrival at Walt Disney World could not have been much better. Flush with stimulus checks. Remember those stimulus checks we all used to get? It was great. But then we got inflation, so maybe not that great. Brimming with optimism after a post-pandemic economic boom and desperate to finally enjoy an actual vacation for once, guests descended by the masses on Disney's theme parks. In its fiscal year 2022 that ended October 1st, annual operating income for the entertainment giant's tourism segment catapulted to $7.9 billion from just $471 million in the previous period. By comparison, its media activities, the other far larger arm that generates about twice as much revenue, saw a 42% drop in profit due mainly to its heavy investments in streaming to better compete with Netflix. And I have done a number of videos about the streaming investments and about the management of the streaming service, and it's a complete and total mess. Something I do not think Bob Iger can fix. Perhaps that outsized earnings gain at its parks businesses led executives at Disney to believe they had a surefire hit on their hands with the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. It's billed as a two-night immersive experience where guests become the hero of their own Star Wars adventure aboard the Halcyon. The stay features its own storylines, lightsaber training, gourmet eating at the fictional ship's Crown of Corellia dining area, and a spaceport day on the fictional planet of Batuu at Disney's popular Galaxy's Edge attraction. You know, I would be embarrassed to go to this as opposed to excited to go to this. As always, somebody who's been interested in Star Wars, I wouldn't want to tell my friends, hey, yeah, I went to the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, because it's Disney's Star Wars, Disney Star Wars is bad now. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments below. And you don't have to agree with me. I'm sure, plenty of people would have gone and are happy to go do that. But just Disney's association with Star Wars has been terrible. Yes, they had The Mandalorian, especially season 1. It was good. Baby Yoda and all that. But, they ruined it. Unfortunately, the price of a cabin on the Starcruiser was also out of this world. A package deal for 2 adults and 1 child started at a combined fee of $5,299 for 2 nights. That's expensive. Despite the expensive cost, the then CEO of Disney believed it to be a compelling deal. Characterizing interest in the experience as phenomenal, 2 months after it opened its doors, Bob Chapek said the first customer ratings were incredibly high during an investor update. Demand is strong and we expect 100% utilization through the end of Q3, he said last May. By that point, however, the Federal Reserve was fighting full-blown inflation, and with fighting inflation, a lot of people had financial problems and the economy has started to fall apart. Brokerage accounts, once stuffed full of Tesla shares and Bitcoin cryptocurrency, now shriveled in value, leaving people feeling poorer. The good news for investors subsequently appears to have dried up there. Never again did Chapek plug the Star Wars themed hotel or provide data on demand during a quarterly earnings call. That's suspicious. Any search in Disney's 112-page long annual 10K filing with the SEC, dated last November, comes up blank. If they ain't talking about it, that means it ain't going so good. Critical misfires. It also may be indicative of broader problems stemming from Disney's stewardship over the once-beloved science fiction franchise, Star Wars. While the wildly successful Mandalorian, a show conceived by Iron Man director Jon Favreau, helped launch Disney's streaming service in 2019, attempts to expand the rich universe have misfired. Series like Obi-Wan Kenobi disappointed despite the return of star Ewan McGregor, for example. Only Andor and Rogue One spin-off series based around Rebel spy Cassian Andor has been a clear critical hit recently. A lot of people have said they're not even interested, though, in watching Andor, even though the word on it is it's pretty good. Consequently, rumors emerged that Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, a divisive figure among fans for entrusting J.J. Abrams with the third trilogy, may lose her job once the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny premieres in theaters this summer. So many people make comments, even when it's unrelated, anything like Disney, but not even Star Wars related, make comments that they want to see Kathleen Kennedy gone. Let me know what you think of Kathleen Kennedy in the comments below. Always love to see that. Fortunately, some interest in the Star Wars franchise may return with the 3rd season of The Mandalorian debuting in March. The trailer drew in a record 83 million plus views in the first 24 hours, according to The Hollywood Reporter. If it's getting that many trailer views, That is a very good sign, and good luck to them. Hopefully they did a good job on it. Disney set to report first quarter results on February 8th. That should be interesting, with many analysts keen to see whether the company narrowed quarterly losses that had ballooned by 50% to nearly $1.5 billion. They actually lost $4 billion on streaming in 2022. In total, since they've worked on Disney Plus streaming, they've lost over $11 billion in their streaming business, Disney Plus. This is not have anything to do with Hulu. Why didn't they just buy all of Hulu and focus on Hulu? That would be a good question for Bob Iger. Maybe he'll have an answer for it when shareholders ask him about it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Would you go to the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser even for free? It feels Disney Star Wars just has a bad vibe about it. I don't know. I think you'd have to convince me to get me to go, but I'd love to know what your comments are, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.